Hello everyone, how are you? Hope you've had a lovely week. Thank you all so much for your feedback on my last video. I know I say that in every video, but seriously, I'm always very it's very heartwarming when I hear people say, "Oh, I could really understand, I could really resonate, or I could really relate to all of the things you were talking about." Thank you all so much. I'm really appreciative. I'm really enjoying this as well. I'm getting to enjoy week after week, and to think that a couple of weeks ago videos were something that I really hated, but because I've been doing it, obviously, like everything, when you do it you get more comfortable with it. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you all for all of your feedback so far. So today I thought that I'll do what I did last month in June, and what I did last month at the end of the month was to just go through all of the books that I read in July. So in June, sorry, so July. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through all of the books I read in July, and then I'll take one of the books and do an excerpt. So it might be slightly longer than usual, but it would be just me going through all the books that I've read and just giving you a brief overview of one particular one of them. So the first book that I read in July was The Trusted Black Girl by Roianne. Sorry, why did I say Roianne? And it's challenging perceptions and maximizing potential of Black women in the UK workplace. It's a book that talks about stories of Black women and the experiences in the UK workplace, and how there's so much potential within that demographic that sometimes isn't really used, or isn't really the potential that isn't really tapped. Obviously there's been a lot of talk in the last couple of months about how we can make workplaces more inclusive and truly have cultures that allows people to be the best that they can be, regardless of who and where they come from. So it's a really good book. One of the things I personally try to do is try to support new authors or people who write books. So I think that's one of the reasons why I bought this book. I think we have a mutual acquaintance, and I found out about the book on LinkedIn, so I bought it and I read it, and I think it's a very good read. And there's some really practical things that you can do as part of it as well. The author is a diversity and inclusion specialist, and she does consulting services for organizations. So it's a really good one if you can think of a way, if you are within that space and thinking of a way to actually implement new policies about how to make your workplace or your organization a truly inclusive place. So D&I is something I'm very into, and that's one of the reasons why I bought the book. So if that's your thing, you would find it interesting. The other book, and I'm really excited about this one that I read, is my fiction read of the month, and it's part of the book, is the book we're going to be reviewing on my book club. So if you've been following this page, you would know that I'm starting a book club. And this month, the book we're reading, my fiction read, is My Sister, the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaithe. It's a really different, that's the word I'll use. I'm not going to give too much away. If you want to learn about it, come and join my book club. We're going to be discussing it. So join my book club and you will hear my reviews about this particular book, and then not just my reviews, but you're going to hear from other people. So please come and join us if you want to listen to what we thought about My Sister, the Serial Killer. And then the third book, read as part of another book club that I'm part of. So I'm part of a community of women, and we have a book club called Chapters, and I'm the coordinator of that club as well. So we read this for the month of July, and it's Forgotten God by Francis Chan. Forgotten God is talking about reversing the tragic neglect of the Holy Spirit for us as Christians. The author is a preacher that I really admire, Francis Chan. He's written a couple of other books. He's written a couple of other Christian books. He has co-authored a book with his wife about Christian marriage, and he's reading a couple of other books. He's a preacher that a lot of people know about, and he talked about how we can begin to understand the power of the Holy Spirit as Christians. You know, he kind of broke it down into the things that we can begin to expect when we begin to walk with the Holy Spirit, and what the Holy Spirit is able to do in our lives, and what the Holy Spirit is able to do in our Christian walk. So if you're a Christian and you've always wondered about the power of the Holy Spirit, I would really recommend this as a good one for you to read. So we read it as part of book club. I really enjoyed it. If you can see, can you see all of the things, as in when I read, it's one that I really, really enjoy. So it's another one I would recommend. And the last one, and the one that I'm going to read from, is Essentialism by Greg McKeown. And Essentialism is the disciplined pursuit of less. So this book, when I was reading it, I was like, oh my God, why are you attacking me? But this book really, really spoke a lot about the kind of discipline that you require to actually be do less. You know, a lot of times you think, oh God, you need discipline to do more. But what this book is telling me is you require more discipline to do more, to do less than to do more. Because a lot of times you think the more you do, you know, we have a lot of activities, we pack a lot of activities. But what this book is telling me is that you need to, what this book has been showing me, so if I haven't finished it almost though, is how you require discipline to be able to narrow and focus, to be able to live what is trivial for what is vital and what is essential. A lot of the time we pack our days with what is essential. So I'm going to read a part of it that really resonated with me, and I will read, and it's taken from chapter 5. I think I've closed it. It's taken from chapter 5. Why is it taking? Yes, I think I'm on chapter 5. Yes, and it's chapter 5, the perks of being unavailable. And there's a quote on here that says, without great solitude, no serious work is possible. And that is a quote by Pablo Picasso. Frank O'Brien is the founder of Conversations, a marketing services company based in New York that has been named the Incorporated 500 over 5,000 list of America's fastest growing private companies. In response to the frenetic pace of today's workplace, it has initiated a radical practice. Once a month, it gathers each employee of his 50-person company into a room for a full day. Phones are prohibited, email is outlawed, there is no agenda. The purpose of the meeting is simply to escape, to think and to talk. Mind you, he doesn't hold this meeting on the middle of Friday of the month when productivity might be sluggish and people aren't getting any real work done anyway. He holds this day-long meeting on the first Monday of the month. The practice isn't just an internal discipline either. Even his clients know not to expect a response on this do not call Monday. He does this because he knows his people can't figure out what is essential if they're constantly on call. They need space to figure out what really matters. He wrote, I think it's critical to set aside time to take a breath, look around and think. You need that level of clarity in order to innovate and grow. Furthermore, he uses the meeting as a litmus test to alert him if his employees are spending too much time on the non-essential. If somebody can't make the meeting because of too much going on, that tells me either we're doing something inefficiently or we need to hire more people. If his people are too busy to think, then they're too busy, period. We need space to escape in order to discern the essential few from the trivial many. Unfortunately, in our time-starved era, we don't get that space by default, only by design. Before you can evaluate what is and isn't essential, you first need to explore your options. While non-essentialists automatically react to the latest idea, jump on the latest opportunity, or respond to the latest email, essentialists choose to create the space to explore and ponder. You know, that's really powerful. And it's something that I am learning. I'm not perfect at it yet, but it's something that I'm learning more and more. For you to actually discern what's really important and for you to be able to decide that I'm going to say no to this or I'm going to say yes to this, you need to create space to think. A lot of time people think creating space to think is wasting time, or, you know, the same way people think resting is wasting time. Those things, creating time to think, play, rest, are very essential things that we think are not essential because we're in this culture of hustle. I'm always doing, always active, always busy. But a lot of times we're busy doing nothing productive. For you to be able to find time to say this is essential and these are the things I'm supposed to be doing and these are the things I'm supposed to be saying no to so that I can say yes to the essential, you need to create that time to think. So my challenge for you today, and my challenge for myself as well, I do it, but I don't think I think I can do it better, is to read this book and also think. Even if you can't read the book, think. All of the activities I engage in, have I ever actually stopped, paused to think, this thing that I'm doing, is it essential? Why am I doing it? He talks a lot about the things that we think we should be doing, but if we don't do it, it's not going to create anything different. And it took me a long time to get to that place myself. So now there are a lot of times a lot of what I do is not necessarily what people think I should be doing, but things that I think that are essential. Do you think, how is this thing I'm doing moving me closer to the goal that I want to achieve? Is it essential? Is it if I don't do it, what's going to happen? So that's one thing I learned from the book, and I think one thing that I think we can all take and ponder about as we go into our week, as we go into a new month, as we go into a new quarter. Think about all of the things. Take time. I think one thing I want to just really reiterate is take time, take that space to just ponder and think about all the things and the activities that you're engaging, and try to narrow down what's trivial. There's something I use at work, something called the picture, but I'm not going to go into that because I want to make this, you know, it's something, it's a framework for you to be able to choose what is absolutely essential and what isn't. So that's all I wanted to share today. Thank you for watching, but do let me know if you found it useful. And I hope to be able to do another video next week. Thank you, and have a lovely, lovely week and August. Bye. Thank you.